don't know, I'm kind of nervous to talk about this. So let me get those little nervous jitters out in the beginning, and then I know I'll smooth out and I'll do good. So, oh my goodness, right now, it's not supposed to be above freezing for the next week. And we leave for Fort Worth a week from tomorrow to go to the NRCHA World Championship show. And I'm a little freaked out right now because, yes, my horse is riding fine. I know everything's going to be fine, but I can't school him the way I was hoping I can. He's fine. I'm going to do fine. So what I decided I was going to do, instead of fretting over the fact that I can see all this snow and ice outside my window right now, I'm going to come on here and share with you a little redemption story. And I think it'll just hopefully motivate you and motivate me, and we'll all live happily ever after. All right, so let me start off with back in 2017, midsummer, I qualified for the AQHA World Show in the amateur working cow horse and the amateur reining. So as soon as I got qualified, I decided to set a goal. My goal was I wanted to make it to the finals at the World Show back in 2017. So every day I followed my goal setting books and guides and everything that I had written and studied and all the mind stuff that I listened to. And I wrote my goal down every single day, and I imagined what it'd feel like to achieve the goal, and I did all that stuff. And I got my horse ready. I did, like, looking back on it, I do not believe I could have done more to prepare to hit my goal. So we get to the World Show, and not only does things not go as I planned, okay, let me say it like this. Not only did I not make the finals at the 2017 World Show, I was dead last. Like, you can go look up the score sheets to this day, and you can see my name and my number at the bottom. So that is how my first experience went for that. So, oh goodness, was you like, just thinking back on it, I felt so disappointed. Disappointment. I bet you that was my biggest emotion, just thinking back on that right now. Because I wanted it to go, I didn't want that to be the outcome. You know, it's just so final and just such a letdown. I didn't feel like I failed, because I do still, looking back on it, I believe I did everything in my power to get to where I needed to be. And it was my nerves and just thinking that I couldn't do it, like not believing that I would actually do it was what would happen. I just overestimated my abilities to make things work. So that's fine. And what happened was I went home. I gave my horse a couple months off. So World Show's in November. You know, I started riding him again probably first part of January, getting back in shape and all that jazz. And so I started mapping out the 2018 show year because I had a fire in my belly. I just knew I couldn't just end like that. You know, I had more to do. I knew my horse could do better, and I wanted to do better. So it's just exciting. Lay out the 2018 show year. And what I decided to do was schedule about one NRCHA show per month. Once the ones closer to me, kind of the smaller ones, I had no idea how I would, do against that kind of competition, and I just didn't know. So I took a look at the schedule, and I chose 3 shows in the Northwest region and 3 shows in the Southwest region. Just worked out to where it was 1 show a month. I thought that would be a good way for me to go to a show, spend 3 weeks coming home, working on things to improve, and it would work out, being gone from my family, all that stuff. It would just be the perfect thing. I didn't even set a goal really to I was kind of over setting goals to make the finals or win the championship or do anything like that, because I felt like I was messing that up by trying too hard to be good or something like that. So I was like, I'll tell you what my goal was for the 2018 show year. My goal was to figure out how to beat the mental game of showing my horses. So all I wanted to do was be able to walk in there and have that confidence and just, no matter what, I'm going to enjoy this and it's going to work out. So that was my goal, is just to figure out how to beat the mental game. And then in the back of my mind, I decided to see if I may be able to qualify for the NRCHA World Show in this year, so you already know how it ends up, but let me just share with you kind of what all the little twists and turns along the way, because it's just crazier than I can even imagine. So, so where was I? Set up these 3 shows in the 2 different regions. And the reason why I did that was because you have to show in 3 shows of the same region to qualify for, I needed that as a qualification. So that's why I did that. And then I thought, well, if I did one in the Northwest and one in the Southwest, because I kind of live in the middle, like I could go north or I could go south and have the same amount of traveling distance. And it just worked out that those shows were available and all that. So I thought that would double my odds of qualifying. And so when it all came time to start showing, I think it was in May that we started going. And I only entered so sorry to make this all confusing, but the NRCHA has 3 divisions for what I'm showing in: the non-pro bridle, the intermediate non-pro bridle, and the novice non-pro bridle. That the bottom category, the novice non-pro bridle, it just means that you haven't won $7,500 going down in that division ever. So under that in lifetime earnings. So I'm like, that's me. I ain't gonna, fork over all these entry fees and drive all this distance from living in the middle of nowhere and all these things, having a horse that I trained myself. I'm not going to put out all this money if I have just coming off of the worst thing that could happen at the AQHA World Show. So little old me, I just enter the novice non-pro bridle, and I do that throughout most of the summer. I think I went to 3 or 4 shows, and I was like, I surprised myself. I'm like, oh, things are going okay. I was making money. I was winning. We were at the top, and our runs were working out, and like we just execute our plan. And so so then it came down to later in the summer, I decided that I was going to step it out a little bit and go to the pre-futurity in Las Vegas at the South Point, where they had a bridal spectacular and a crap pile of money added, and some more bridal horse classes. So this is the first time that I'm like, all right, we're doing good at these little horse shows. Let's step it up and see what we got. Can we go compete against some of these other bigger professionally trained horses that these non-pros that can totally kick ass are riding and bringing? And so we did. And oh my goodness, so I have to share this little side note with you. So I ride with Brandon Stabler, and I would go over there anywhere from once a week to every 2 weeks. It's a 2.5-hour drive for me to get to his place because I literally live in the middle of nowhere. So whenever I would go over there, yes, it would cost a ton of money in fuel. It would kill a day, which I love. I could go every time. But I'm telling you, this is not a cakewalk for me to make this happen. I would have to do that. And then so he's getting me ready. He knows I'm going to Vegas. He's planning on going to Vegas too. Well, a few weeks before we leave for Vegas, I get this phone call from Brandon, and he's like, and I can tell he's scared to tell me this, but he's like, Isabella's hurt and I cannot show at Vegas, so I'm not going to go. And I'm like, whoa, my trainer's not going. He's not going to be at the biggest show that I've ever entered in this whole crazy career that I'm starting with this. I'm like, okay, just calm down. I can do this. I can figure this out. So the whole time I'm thinking, all right, I'll just, and Brandon was really good. He set me up to ride with Lance Johnston, who is one of Brandon's really good friends. Like, probably people listening to this know who he is, but I didn't at the time. I had no idea who anybody was. And so I'm like, cool, this weird guy that I don't know is going to help me at this show that I'm going to be showing at the South Point. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, all right, I can do this. It's just me. This is what I always tell myself when I start to get that panic, because remember what my goal was to beat the mental game. I'm like, perfect. This is a good chance to do that. So I calm myself back down, and I this is what I was learning to tell myself. It's just me. It's just my horse. It's the dirt, and it's a cow. And those are all the same elements that I have at home. And when I can make that connect, and it truly is, the thing that's just makes me love the sport is I can be putting a run together or practicing it or whatever at home in my own arena, and I can get those same amazing feelings there that now that I know what it feels like to show at bigger places, that I have stepping into an environment like that. Like it literally is one of the best things. It's my passion, and I love it so much. So I tell myself that, and we head for Vegas, and we get there, and we unload the horse, and everything's going well. I meet Lance, and he helps me school before I show the next day, and we get this game plan for showing and the next day, and like what time we're gonna warm up, and who he's gonna get to help me settle the herd, and not settle the herd, but turn back and sit in the corner and all that. And so I'm good. I'm like, all right. And, Brandon, we're talking on the phone, and he's making sure that everything, like, just normal. We got our routine. Everything's fine. So then we're watching in the evening, the night before I'm going to show. We're sitting in the stands, and we're watching an event that's happening in the arena. And I think it was the open riders were showing in their, the bridal spectacular that they had going. So I'm watching all these awesome bridal horses go in, and it's me and my husband, and we're just hanging out in the stands, and I see my husband turn and look up, like you see somebody he knows. So I turn and look up. Oh my goodness. So Brandon makes it. He shows up. He drives to Vegas, and I kid you not, I hit him in the arm as hard as I could, and I'm sure I bruised it because I was like, how could you do this to me? You knew you were coming down here and you didn't tell me. He's like, well, I didn't know for sure. So anyway, long story short, he came to support me, and I can just remember how good I felt because he had helped me up to this point, and I had never just showed without a trainer, and then I didn't want to do that there. So anyway, I had to share that with you because it was crazy. So it went ahead and showed at that show, ended up second. Let's see, I can't remember how. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, second in the intermediate bridal spectacular, third in the non-pro. And I'd never entered. I'd only stuck to the novice non-pro stuff. I hadn't ventured out into the non-pro or the intermediate, like the bigger kids. I hadn't done that. I won dang near $10,000 that weekend. I was like, what? What? I can't believe this just happened. It was just so fun. And it just all, my whole attitude of just, this is the dirt. This is my horse, this is me, this is the cow. And just forget about the cameras, and forget about the big shiny lights of Las Vegas, and forget about the intimidating riders. Oh my goodness. And they're awesome horses. Just forget about all of this. This is just me. I didn't even know who they were, but oh yeah. I mean, I knew who they were because their names were in the lights all the time, but they didn't know me. So that's what I did. And also, as a side note, up until this point, I'd been entering the bridal spectaculars, but I had not entered, I'd only been entering the novice non-pro bridal, and I knew I was already qualified for the world show and that and all this, but this was the first time that I'd stepped it up and got my button gear and actually entered the non-pro and the intermediate bridal. Okay, this is important to know for the qualifications for the world. So here I am getting a really nice lead, and money-wise, I'd be fine if but I needed 2 more shows because I had not been entering those. Ding! So go home. The next show that we have is Reno, another big show that has just been on my bucket list ever since I was a little girl to go to show there. I had actually showed there a couple times and it went okay, but this time I'm like, all right, I'm ready. So same thing. It's my horse. It's the dirt. It's the cow. And it's me. And I win Reno, all 3 divisions. So now all of a sudden, and I won another dang near $5,000. Now all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, hold the phones. I just entered 2 shows, and now everything's starting to have a different twist to it. And I start watching the standings, and I start thinking about things that are happening. I'm like, dang, I got a shot at this gig. I'm like, what? So, now I realize that I still need another show because that was gonna kind of wrap up my season. It's in September. I was gonna go over to Idaho and show one more time, but I didn't really need to. That was in the wrong region, and all these little twists started happening. So I had a friend who would secretly message me and share her insights. So someone that I look up to very much, like she's been my inspiration for years, and she'd just kind of keep track of me, and then she'd say, it's none of my business, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but this is what I think you should do. And so she's like, all right, there's one more show left, Andrea. It's in Tulare, California. It's like 2 days before qualifications end for the year. You need to go down there, get yourself qualified for Fort Worth, and go, because there is no show that's funner that's not a word, but just, you have to do this. So I'm like, all right. So I enter it, and yeah, that's how we got qualified for Fort Worth. They had 2 shows down there actually, and I placed in the top. I didn't actually win. The second day I won first in all my divisions. I kind of showed up, and same thing, just beating that head game. I was just like, had some stuff going on in my head about my first run and blah, blah, blah. But then my second run, I cleaned it up, won the non-pro, novice, and the intermediate down there. Yeah, so that concluded, because it was literally this NRCHA show season ended November 15th, and that show was the weekend before. I think the last day was like the 12th or 13th or something like that. So I mean, that was it. That was my final chance to make it happen. And so that ended my deal. And when I totaled up all my earnings, it was over $22,000. I won 11 buckles, 2 saddles, a bunch of awesome prizes, coats, chairs, makeup bags, hats. Oh my gosh. So that just kind of sums up my year, my very first full year of showing. That went from, coming off of having no, just doing so poorly at the AQHA World Show, coming home and going, okay, well, let's see, let's lick our wounds and see what we can do, to planning out the year and then just having it, it definitely wasn't without twists and turns, but letting it unravel as it did and just keep going. So that is what I wanted to share. I just wanted to come on and let you know my story. So what's next is we are spending the next just over a week getting ready to load up and head for Fort Worth. We show February 19th, 20th, and 21st. And then if we make the non-pro finals, we'll show the 22nd. I believe that's the right schedule. It's all televised. I'm excited. I feel ready. Like I'm saying, I'm freaking out over this weather right now, because what I really want to do is just be able to get a few more cows in, just school down the arena, work on, just work on my stuff. But I know my horse is ready. A couple days ago, I schooled him. He did awesome. So he's fit. He's on his game. He's fit. Everything's good. The only thing that I am, once again, shifting my mindset to know is my horse is ready. So if I did have that chance to keep schooling on him, I'd probably overdo it. That Brandon's always saying, that one more stop that you're looking to get, that can hurt you more than it can help you. So I'm just gonna go lope him in the snow, maybe go find a friend's indoor. I've got a couple of options there to ride that's small. I can't run and stop or anything like that. We'll get to Fort Worth a couple days beforehand. We'll go school. We're just gonna go do our thing. We're gonna just step in there. It's gonna be me, my horse, the arena, and the cow, and the dirt and the cow. And that's how I'm gonna finish. One thing that I do want to add before I get off of this, and I'm a blood brain idiot, is so I finished the year as the national. Just if you look at my horse, it's my horse that did it. The national champion for the novice non-pro bridle, and so at the awards, we'll get to go get that. That's our title. We ended up 3rd in the nation in the non-pro, and 5th in the intermediate. So here I am, just going from somebody who didn't, just started out going, I don't even know if I can qualify, to someone who won over $22,000 and some world titles, or national titles. The world title, we don't know yet, but national titles. So girlfriends, there is, no matter where you're at right now, if this is something that's important to you to go follow your dream, there's just no reason why you can't do it. It takes a lot of focus and hard work, but because that's something that cracks me up, is people are like, you've worked so hard for this. And I never think about the hard work ever. I always just think about, how much I love it. And then I get done and I'm like, damn, I'm tired. And then I look at my Fitbit and it says I went 30,000 steps. And I'm like, oh, well, no wonder. So it truly is, if it's something that you love to do, it doesn't feel like work at all. So, all right. Thank you for listening to my ramble once again. And I'm going to get off and go gallop out in the snow to get ready for next week. I'll keep you updated. That's going to be my goal. Probably the most updates that you're going to see is on Instagram in my stories. It's just a really easy way for me to, you know, share what I'm doing. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Andrea _Otley at Andrea _Otley. And it's where I'm going to share my journey is on there. And then when I get home, I'll do like a wrap up or something. So thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.